Hello, everybody. I am one of your hosts, Scott, coming to you from the Great White North.
And I'm Andy, coming to you from the United Kingdom, as is usually the case nowadays.
And it's not really all that white right now. It's actually rather overcast and rainy, but it is a nice break to our very hot summer, as I'm sure everybody in the Northern Hemisphere is kind of sick of right now. This is the Tea and Timbits podcast, global perspectives on business development to help you prosper. We are in the month of July still, and we decided this month we'd talk a little bit about marketing and how that can help with your business development. We've gone over personal branding, working with or without a marketing department. Building your own marketing engine was last week. I had a lot of fun on that conversation. And we promised this year we would spend one episode every month on that topic, talking about some actual tools that you can use to get some of these jobs done. So here we are talking about marketing tools. And to give me enough time to think of some, Andy, I'm going to let you tell the story.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. As many listeners know, I am also involved in the music industry, not just the business development side of things. And one of the things that I really enjoy this time of year getting involved with is festivals. And there's a big festival in the UK that is very much on the sort of heavier side of things, and it's a popular festival called Bloodstock. Now, I won't be going to Bloodstock this year, but I have had a lot of people asking me for recommendations of who to see and what they should be doing and how they can prioritize their time, because the festival itself is set up, as many festivals, with multiple stages spread out across the festival area. And this means that there are bands on all the time throughout the days, across the 3 or 4 days that it's on. Now, planning your time and the logistics of seeing all of the bands that you want to see and getting as few clashes and challenges with that just brings me back to my normal sort of sales and logistics side of things. Because when you're going to go and see customers, you have to think about, okay, what are the potential things that could stop me from getting there in time? How long could I be there? What are the things that they're likely to do? How are they likely to set up their set? And to me, that all felt quite natural. And I think to other salespeople and other business leaders, it does as well, because you're always thinking about that planning. You're always thinking about those clashes. You're always prioritizing. You're always thinking, okay, what are the likely processes they're going to go through? So, in the context of the music festival, it's like, which songs are they likely to play in which order? Well, they'll probably open with like a fast and famous one, but they'll save their more famous ones towards the end, so they end on a high. So you can kind of expect that to be the case most of the time, that they'll start high, they'll go a little bit filler, and then they'll finish on a more famous track. So that means that missing the beginning and catching the end of some of the others can work really well. But when I shared my process and my lists and the thinking that I had with the people who were asking me, and these are music industry professionals, they were aghast at the level of planning and focus and actual answers that I had for how to do it. And I was like, well, okay, yeah, on this stage you need to see on this, and you need to prioritize nice to see, you want to see, must see, and do that for each day, and then prioritize the timings, and then split that up, and they're like, what how do you do this? Exactly. And for myself last year, I didn't sleep actually between the Friday and the Saturday evening, and went all the way through, which was really, really nice. But I was very tired on the Saturday.
Yeah,
but it was certainly very good, and I got to see all of the bands that I wanted to see. But I definitely missed quite a few, and this is the challenge with these big festivals. You pay quite a reasonable sum of money, to be honest, but you can't see all the bands that you want to see. So you've always got to prioritize that. And it's the same with sales, and the same with any sort of business. You have to prioritize those customers. And it's not always those big name ones that you want to be prioritizing, because everyone's chasing after them. So it's the same music festival. There's going to be, 30,000 people in front of the stage. Are you going to really get to see that band? Or could you be in one of the other stages, actually getting up close and personal with one of the other bands that is on your would like to see, and you get a much better experience because there's less people there. And in sales and in business, same sort of thing. You're competing against less people, and if you prioritize it, I'm not saying don't go for the big companies and the big ticket items, but go for the customers and the opportunities that are likely to give you a good reward. And so have a mix of smaller customers, medium-sized customers, and large customers that you're targeting. And when you go to a music festival, do the same.
Yep, I like it. Sales requires a lot of that kind of intention, and recognizing that you can't be. I've worked with in sales situations where they try to make everything a priority, and there's nothing that we shouldn't be involved with, and then you just dilute your impact on the key opportunities. And I like what you said about just the biggest names, the best shows, the biggest brands, the quote unquote sort of like, well, I don't know, the clients with the biggest budgets are not actually necessarily the best ones for you to win, to advance your own business, to be an effective service provider. Being really intentional about that is super important. I like it. And as I was recapping that, I'm trying to find a segue into tools, but I suppose there are lots of tools for making lists and prioritizing things. And as we have said every time, you need a good CRM, and so that goes without saying. I have a suite of tools from a marketing perspective that are my go-to. Anything though, before I sort of dive in on what I turn to that comes to mind for you, Andy?
I feel with marketing that there's a lot of tools, like actual tools that people can use. And a lot of them do very, very, very similar sort of things. And as I've tried to frame it in some of the previous episodes when it comes to tools, that sometimes the tools don't necessarily have to be, a big brand or anything that is exceptional, and it can be a pen and paper, it can be an Excel file. That's absolutely fine. But what they must do, and what is often forgotten, is you go, oh, I need a CRM because that I need a CRM. Okay, so which one do you go for? Oh, we'll go with this one because then it does the marketing bit that we want to do as well, and that will naturally take you on a certain path. But what is it you're actually trying to achieve in your business, and what is it you're trying to achieve personally? And as we talked about last week, it's the that personal branding side of things is going to be very important. And thinking about the situations that we talked about earlier in the month where maybe you're working without a marketing department, where you've got to put these things on yourself. And when we talked about building the marketing engine, we were talking about doing that as individuals as well as departments and things like that. So I think having the perspective that yes, there are these big tools and there are these big systems that you can use, also remembering that they must be designed to achieve the goals that you want them to do is more important than the tool itself very often, I think.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, and especially I think true in this category. The number of times I have been asked for permission to buy a tool, or a client has gotten excited about the tool they just bought, or somebody says, well, yeah, we bought that tool, but we didn't really get a chance to use it, whatnot. The amount of times there's money spent and time spent and attempts made thinking the tool is the answer, because it's going to do this thing, is an endless list of examples there.
Loop it back around. There you go. Marketing tools should support the engine, not be the engine.
Boom.
Yeah.
Love it. So there's my segue that I will pick up on. So my marketing engine, and I've probably explained this on other episodes. We have lots of different activities and things that we run, but the primary one, especially effective in this new world of AI, and you don't know what to trust, is authentic conversations, recorded conversations, these video sessions, these recorded, podcast style interviews, trying to get that first person raw advice capture, experience, story capture, is an anchor to how we run our marketing. Because it's actually not overly polished, it comes through a little bit more authentically. And can you make AI videos of two people talking and make it sound authentic? But yeah, you can, but that's more work than just turning on the video and hitting record. So like we do for this podcast, we use StreamYard for that. So that's a very handy tool. Does a great job of capturing the video, letting people dial in, building a presentable scene, and allowing you to add artwork and music and all the rest. It's a beautiful tool. It's gotten more reliable over the years. It's been pretty stable and steady and good recently. And I shouldn't have said that out loud. And then it'll also generate your transcripts, and it'll actually do automatic video editing to give you shorts, little clips, little reels. But the next thing that I do, one way or another, is I get the transcript of that conversation. I put that transcript into AI. We use ChatGPT and Copilot, so kind of bounce back and forth. And that gives me a blog post, and that gives me a LinkedIn post. And then I can use that to quickly amplify that piece of content, which, by the way, I've probably posted on YouTube. Maybe it goes straight to LinkedIn. Longer format things, I use a tool called Opus Pro. It's pretty popular now, and it does a better job than the native capabilities inside StreamYard to generate shorts. And not everything I do is actually recorded straight in StreamYard. And so Opus Pro, you upload your videos. You can put in a little bit of a prompt, but a lot of times I just hit upload and submit, and it will process that content and create the clips, the video shorts with the closed captioning overlaid, timed properly. It's pretty easy to edit. But from there, in their dashboard, I can schedule when I want that to be published to different channels, whether it's LinkedIn or YouTube. In my case, it's got a lot of other options there. And so it becomes this whole publishing workflow that works incredibly well. So a few quick tools there: StreamYard, your AI and your transcripts, your own blog, LinkedIn, and Opus Pro, and then YouTube for the posterity and a place to save your videos, your video library.
Does the tools you mentioned, do they post automatically to the social medias if you want them to?
Opus does have that capability, yes. StreamYard, I think you can click. Yes, there's a way to actually either go live or schedule it. It's not the same. Yeah. Opus has like a calendar, and you can be like, this time, this date, this clip.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And you can take the same video and you can pick multiple channels and different descriptions for different channels for the same video. And it's pretty fun.
Incredible.
The only thing you can't do is tag other people when you're setting that up, but maybe they'll solve that soon.
And do you have a tool that you use to sort of store all of the assets and things that are created? Because you mentioned quite a few things there. We've got the shorts, we've got the actual main show, we've got the audio of the main show, we've got the transcripts, we've got the social calendar, all that sort of stuff. Do you have a central place that you store all of that?
I used to do that. I used to just share it on, save it all and organize it on our OneDrive. And then I was like, why am I doing this? I'm never going to go back. I mean, if I do, it's published on LinkedIn or YouTube. So I try really intentionally to use YouTube as that archive now. If I want to store it, just put it on YouTube. Even if you don't put much of a description there, even if you're not trying to promote it, then it's there. And the chances of it helping the algorithm and bumping one more contact along, great. If it's an internal thing and I don't want it to be released publicly, I'll just save it wherever. But in terms of like organizing it and keeping it for posterity, the full recording goes on YouTube, and I don't worry about saving all the rest.
Amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And do you in your business use like newsletters or email, like email shot type things?
Yes, we do sort of we have you can sign up and put yourself on the list. Most of our clients, we make sure that they're on it. The email campaign, the email cadence is a little bit more of trying to just share some values, share some insight, a story, an example, a case study. It's not salesy. It's not, in our case, it's not like flash sale, sign up today and you'll get 30% off, like that kind of thing, which works very effectively for businesses that are in that kind of a space. But for us, it's a great way to push something right into somebody's inbox. It's kind of a roundup of some of the other insights and content that we've published lately. Email is still one of the most effective marketing tools. The engagement, the open rate, the response you get from doing that is still effective.
And do you have a specific tool that you use for tracking that? It was just quite funny that you answered that question kind of before I finished it.
Well, the platform we use is Campaign Monitor.
Okay.
It's very straightforward and very user-friendly. It's got some advanced, cool, great features for doing drip campaigns and nurture campaigns and sequencing things and A/B testing and all the rest. It's a very good email campaign platform. A lot of our clients, we help them use Mailchimp as an alternative.
Okay.
And I describe the difference as being Mailchimp is a little bit more of a robust content management, subscriber management, bordering on a lightweight CRM kind of capabilities there. So if your lists are bigger, if your organization is more dynamic, then we would probably opt for Mailchimp. If it's a pretty routine wash, rinse, repeat kind of a need, then we would go with Campaign Monitor. You can get away with doing the same thing in both platforms.
And with all of the things that you've mentioned so far, do they all talk to each other then quite well?
Well, I guess the systems that I've mentioned, you're manually sort of putting these pieces together. Building an email newsletter campaign, the content itself is a highly manual, not very integrated way. I don't can't really imagine a way to, maybe there's one day an AI is just going to be an agent that sits on top of all these other things and put together a newsletter for you based on what it sees you've published lately. If you've already invented that, please reach out, let me know. I'd love to see it. But connecting to the CRM, for sure, they all talk to each other, and getting sort of connected signals is more achievable than ever before now.
Do you have a specific tool that you use for like the, I don't know, when you're doing the newsletters or anything like the the content creation type stuff, the visible stuff, trying to make it look pretty and engaging with people? Do you have a specific tool that you use, or do you just go into Word and use it?
Yeah, good question. For content creation now, I mean, we're not letting AI be the content creator, but it is absolutely our thought partner and our content accelerator. Does it do some writing? Yes. Do we always pass it through our own filter? Absolutely. So from that perspective, that helps big time. The platforms themselves have nice user-friendly designers where you can create a nice, visually, aesthetically pleasing email newsletter. You kind of have to have a design eye to do it and use the tool and get it to look right. There are all kinds of, there's a whole ecosystem of other email design applications that are completely separate from the platforms like Mailchimp and Campaign Monitor that actually send out the newsletters and deal with the delivery and the measurement and whatnot. We use a pretty straightforward, lightweight tool called Stripo for it just allows us to have a lot more fidelity and reusability in terms of the email design. So yes, we do have a different tool for that.
Are there any other tools or things in the business that you think, because obviously you mentioned the CRM, and I know we're not supposed to be talking about the CRM, but the CRM itself, I mean, there are some that are very, very marketing geared, and some that are very sales geared, and some that are just a generic platform that you can bolt other things onto. Do you have a recommendation?
I mean, if you are highly geared towards that sort of digital marketing cadence, that content strategy is even more a more significant part of your go-to-market than what I described that we do, you're probably going to want to take a first look at HubSpot. Can you do it in other platforms? Does Salesforce have additional add-ons and modules to do similar things? Yes. For very large organizations, it becomes a compelling consideration. But if all other things being equal, I think that's probably the clearest differentiator, at least in market position, between HubSpot and Salesforce.
Mm-hmm. Which one do you use?
Salesforce.
And you can
we have tools for all the other things.
Yeah, and you have a lot of things that you can bolt onto that as well, can't you, with
That's
Salesforce? Right. Yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed going through this with you, because it, to me, is something I don't necessarily get so actively involved with, but I know I should get involved more. And knowing the tools that could help and support me in doing that, I know the theory, and I know the reason, and I know the process, but the actual getting my hands dirty side of things is not something that I'm too familiar with. And, that's, well, it's a challenge, but, I don't mind, because there's plenty of people out there who can do those things.
And I didn't even scratch the surface on how we do measurement and analytics and metrics and understand our exposure and SEO and GEO and things like that. So that's a whole other podcast.
But I think one important thing, though, is that it is so easy now for people to just dump everything into AI. And I'm not against AI, but I know that I don't know it well enough. But I know enough to know that it can do a lot of things, but it mustn't replace your own judgment and your ethics. And you've got to make sure that you double check everything, because it will make stuff up. If it doesn't know the answer, it will just make something up, or it will misunderstand something that is read somewhere else and then put that in there. And but I know I know that there are people out there that I have spoken to who are quite senior people in quite big businesses who have used ChatGPT to get legal advice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's great for that.
Insane.
It's really good at giving advice.
I bet. Yeah.
Whether you can follow is a different thing.
Yeah. No, but
it's actually really good at helping you distill like contract terms and.
Okay, really? Yeah.
Would I write a contract that way? Well, not a meaningful one, no. But
no, fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, for originality and proof of concept and a lived commercial experience, it cannot and does not have that. It can simulate it, but it will not have it.
There you go. Well, this has been another episode of the Tea and Timbits podcast, global perspectives on business development to help you prosper. Please check us out at teaandtimbits.com to follow along back episodes, get in touch. As always, Andy, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to the next episode.
And that's maybe a business opportunity for us there to tell it a new opportunity on what to talk about in the month of August. So tune in next week and find out what we did discover there.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Sorry for that call coming in. Talk to you later.